Welcome! Well, today we're going to study chapter 14. And in chapter 14, we will study those expressions that go together with take and that go together with put. Okay? So, take 하고 put이 들어간 idiomatic expressions에는 어떤 것들이 있는지 한번 구분을 해서 암기를 하는 그런 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. Okay? If you use lots of idioms, your English will be much smoother and it sounds very natural. So try to understand first and then try to memorize and use them as often as possible. Okay? So instead of just directly translating Korean expressions into English word by word, if you just use these expressions will, help you upgrade your English level. Okay? 이디엄이라고 하는 것은요, 여러분, 하나하나 단어들 개개인으로 봐야 되는 것이 아니라 덩어리로, chunk, 하나의 chunk로 여러분께서 받아들이셔야 돼요. Okay? So, 그 idiomatic expression, 그 chunk를 그냥 마구마구 받아들이세요. 그리고 use them. Okay? 그러면은 여러분의 것으로 소화가 될 수 있을 겁니다. All right, what we're going to do today first is, why don't you open your book, page 47. Okay, 47, take and put. Well, what does take mean? Take means 취하다, take, right? Take, how about put? 놓다, right? So take and put. And there are some expressions that go together with take. take와 같이 이렇게 그 연결이 되어져 가지고 잘 어울리는 표현이 있는가 하면 some expressions, go together with put. So what are those expressions? Okay, why don't we look at number 1 and find out some expressions there. It'll probably take me 10 years to pay the debt off. Oh, wow. In America and the United States, well, lots of students, they take loans when they're at school and they pay for the tuition and, everything. And after they graduate, actually, they start to pay off the debt. Okay? So, well, sometimes it takes like forever. Takes forever means 영원히 걸리다. 약간 과장법이긴 하죠. 하지만 it takes a long time, right? It says it takes me 10 years. Wow, that's fairly long time, right? It took me 10 years or it take me 10 years. It'll probably take me 10 years. 아마도 10년이 걸릴 것입니다. To pay the debt off. 빚을 다 갚는 데는. So college tuition으로 냈었던 그 금액을 after graduation, they just pay off little by little. So it takes them a lot of time. It takes them certain time. Okay? So in that case, you say take time. 물론 time 대신에요. You can substitute time into a certain specific period of time. Take like a week. Take a month. Take 5 years. Just like this case, take 10 years. Or if it's fairly long, you can say, it takes forever. Okay? So those expressions can be used. So take here means 시간이 걸리다. But take sometimes can be used in order to express some kind of effort is needed at a specific time. So you can say like, it takes my efforts. Or it takes like, your patience. So 너의 노력과 너의 그 참을성이 필요해. At that time, you can say take two. Okay? Okay. If something is needed in order to achieve something, well, you have to sacrifice your time or money or your effort or patience, right? So in that case, you can use take. Okay? It took me $500. You can say 내 돈이 들었다고 할 때도 take. 노력이 들었다 or 시간이 들었다. In all cases like this, well, you can say took or take or will take. take의 변형을 쓰시면 되고요. Why don't we go to the second sentence? Now they all put pressure on us. Okay, put 놓다 pressure. Put pressure on us. What does that mean? Well, they actually, what do? they twisted our arm to do something. Or what does twisted arm? 억지로 뭐 force somebody to do something. 근데 이거는 직접적으로 force는 하지 않지만 압력을 가하다. Right? So 스트레스를 주다라는 그런 표현으로. Now they put pressure on us. To what? To get ahead in the rat race. What does rat race mean? Very competitive activity that usually exhausts people. Oh, it's so competitive. It was kind of a tough rat race. Very competitive activity or routine that exhausts people. That is the rat race. So put pressure. Ooh, put pressure on us to get ahead. So 좀 더 잘해야지, right? So you are under lots of stress in this kind of case. So put pressure on somebody. Put pressure on somebody can be used. Oh, my boss puts pressure on me a lot these days. You know, our sales is kind of low. 요즘에 매출액이 줄어드니까 우리 보스가 정말 압력을 넣더라고. You could say that, right? Put pressure on somebody. Okay. And let's go to number 3. No wonder so many young people take antidepressant. What does depressant mean? I'm depressed. I feel blue. I'm so depressed. I don't know why should I live. There's no reason. Okay, somebody who's under lots of depression, or somebody who is depressed. Oh, this is the right expression. Somebody who is depressed, okay? They might feel like, you know, there's no reason to live, you know, I just want to die. And then, in order to fight against that kind of feelings, that negative feelings, what you have to do is you have to take antidepressant, right? What does antidepressant mean? Anti means against, right? Anti, 반대하는 거, anti. 안티가 많다, antifan이 많다. Antidepressant. So some medicine called pro something. I cannot actually name that specific medicine, but you know people take that a lot. And actually, people say that it's good for your diet. 다이어트 하는데도 좋다고 하던데요. Okay, good for losing weight라고 해야 되겠죠. Good for diet는 뭐 다이어트는 그냥 그 식사니까요. So it's good for losing weight. 정상인들이 먹으면 살이 빠진다고 하네요. Anyway, antidepressant를 take. So in case of medicine, whether it's a tablet or pills or whatsoever, you never say I eat medicine. No, no, no. You take medicine. You take sleeping pills. You take what? Antidepressant. You take some kind of pills, painkillers or stuff like that. So you should use take in this case. Okay? And why don't we go to the last one? Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Well, I should write it down. You know, I am sometimes a procrastinator. Are you familiar with this word? Procrastinator. Procrastinate means, you know, somebody who doesn't want to do what he or she has to do now. 지금 해야 될 일을 안 하고 막, oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, I'll do it later. Okay. And then 나중에가 다시 돌아와도 this person will say like, I'll do it later. I don't want to do it. I'll do it later. And that later never comes, you know. As for me, my car is always messed up because I procrastinate. I'm a procrastinator. 뒤로 미루는 사람이에요. Okay? Here, I need to write this down in my diary. 제 다이어리에 대해 적어놓고 I have to bear in mind. I have to actually shout this like 3 times before I start a day. I think that would be better. That's kind of medicine that I have to take every day, maybe. That I have to take every day, that I have to take medicine. Okay? Well, don't put off till tomorrow. What does put off mean? That's right, procrastinate. Or there are some synonyms. What are some synonyms for put off? Well, delay. Delay what you can do today. Or what else? Postpone. Okay? So all these words can be used interchangeably. Okay? So don't put off. Put off. So, oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, later. And then you will never do it. Okay? So, oh, alas, I'm gonna do some kind of laundry and dishes at home. I'm not gonna procrastinate. I'm gonna put it off until later. I'm gonna do it right away. 당장 해야 되겠어요. 지금 생각하니까 그러네요. Okay. Anyway, so now it's time for us to go to number 2. Number 2로 가보도록 하겠습니다. Number 2는요. Which expressions go together with put and which go together with take? Take and put. Take and put. 어떤 것이 이렇게 어울리는지를 좀 정리를 해야 되는데요. 해보죠 뭐. 그죠? 간단하게. Offense. Well, what sounds natural? 어떤 게 더 natural하게 들립니까? Take offense or put offense? What does offense mean? 그렇죠. offend이라면 공격을 당한 거야. 공격으로 받아들이지 말아라. Take offense. not put 공격을 놓는 게 아니라. So you have to say like take offense. Okay, when do you use this expression? Well, before you say something negative, but something that might be very helpful for this person. Well, you know, there's a saying, 양약고구. What does that mean? You know, bad medicine, bitter medicine is good for your health. So you have to give this advice, but this advice might hurt this person's feelings. And before you actually say that, you should use this expression, which is don't take offense. 공격으로 받아들이지 마. Or, you know, 기분 나빠하지 마. You can say that. Don't take offense. Or, you know, in short, you can say no offense. And it will be very awkward if you say something really, really negative and something very intentional and, you know, with an intention to hurt this person's feelings. If you say something really bad, it is really awkward, okay? So you shouldn't say like, you know, no offense. No offense not. Don't take offense 다음은요. Constructive. But some, you know, something that might hurt this person's feeling. 그런 것들이 나오죠. constructive 한 거요. Okay? So, no offense, but, you know, I think you did not, you know, make that much efforts. 그렇게 노력을 많이 안 한 것 같은 느낌이 들어. Something like that. 그럼 다음부터 노력을 많이 하라는 얘기잖아요. 그죠? 그런데 뭐 이런 거 있죠. Don't take offense or no offense 해놓고 I think you're ugly. 뭐 이러고 어쩌라고. 어쩌라고. You can say that. Okay? 그런 거 constructive 한 건 얘기하지 마세요. And constructive 하지 않은 거. Okay? You know what constructive is, right? Constructive. constructive는 뭔가 건설적인 조언이죠. constructive. Okay? 너무 빨리 지웠나요? 다시 한번 써드릴까? constructive. constructive advice. Okay? So, no offense. 뭔가 상처가 될 만하지만 constructive한 advice가 나와야 된다는 거야. 진짜 negative한 거 나오면 안 된다는 거야. Okay, and then the next one is a stop to something. Okay? Stop. Take a stop? No. Put a stop to something. So, put. Okay, this means something. 이게 something의 그 약자라고 보시면 돼요. Okay? So put a stop to something. Okay, 무엇을 멈추게 하다. 라는 그런 표현이 되겠죠? So if you want to, you know, quit something, if you want to finish, or if you want something to stop, 어떤 것이 멈춰지길 원한다면, somebody to stop, you can put a stop to something. Okay? So you can put a stop to something is used in this case. And how about place? Take place or put place? You can say take place. What does take place mean? Something happened. 어떤 것이 일어나는 거죠. happen. So, well, took place. What took place in Korea back in 1988? In 1988, well, 88 Olympic. 올림픽이 열렸잖아요. So Olympic, a special event, took place. Take place is used in that case. So take place. Olympic, 88 Olympic was held in Korea, took place in Korea, or you can say it happened in Korea. Okay, and your arm around somebody. Well, 팝송 같은 데 많이 나오잖아요. I put your arms around you. 제가 지어낸 노래거든요. 근데 anyway, I put your arms 감싸는 거예요. Around you. And 뭐 하냐? We dance together or something like this. So put arm around somebody. So put somebody. Somebody put arm around somebody. 누군가를 이렇게 감싸다 안다라는 그런 표현이죠. So put your arm around 뭐 어디든지 이렇게 감쌀 수가 있잖아요. 그죠? Around your puppy. puppy 강아지. Okay? Put your arm around the neck. 뭐 그 목을 이렇게 끌어안을 수도 있고요. So hug. hug나 embrace. hug or embrace. 랑 바꾸실 수 있는데요. 그래서 put your hand around. 그래서 push이 쓰였다는 거 여러분 기억하시고요. Put your hands together 하면 뭐예요? Right? So 너는 그 예쁜 여자가 좋니? 아니면 똑똑한 여자가 좋니? Do you like pretty women or intelligent women? 이렇게 하면 put your hands together. 손을 모아봐. 똑똑하고 예쁜 여자가 좋다는 얘기죠. Okay? Anyway, so put your hands together. 손을 모으다. Put arm around somebody or something. And then notice. Notice means what? 뭔가를 인식하는 거죠. 그죠? 나는 그런 감을 못 잡았어. I took no notice of it. Right? So take notice. You get to recognize something. You get to know something, right? So 어떤 것을 알게 되다. Take notice. Or you can say like take no notice of something. 인식하지 못하다. Okay? And part. Okay? Part. Take part. You say take part. Take part in something. Take part in some kind of event means what? Participate, right? Participate. So, yeah, back then I took part in the 1988 Olympic in Seoul. Okay, you can say I took part in some kind of event. Take part. Take part means participate. Okay? And let's go to the next one. Somebody in charge of something. In charge of means what? I'm in charge of something means I am the chief of something. I'm the manager. So I take care of this project. I am in charge of something. But if there's like a supervisor up there or superior who's responsible for your project also, this person can order you to do something, right? So he can put you, in a certain position so that you can be in charge of something. Okay? So put somebody in charge of something. Okay? So this person, whether this person is like a manager or, section manager and whatsoever, this person should take care of and take responsibility for the result of the project that this person is doing. So we don't know what this is, whether it can be like a project가 될 수도 있고 여러 가지가 될 수도 있는데 이 사람에게 이것을 맡기다, right? So put somebody in charge of something is used in this case. Okay, why don't you repeat after me? Put somebody in charge of something. Good. One more time. 왼쪽 손 이렇게 하면서 put somebody in charge of something. 왼쪽 손 왜 안 하세요? Put somebody in charge of something. Okay, cool. And why don't we go to the next one? Somebody, something for granted. This is the attitude that you should never have. Okay? Somebody, something for granted. Take somebody, something for granted. You never appreciate. You think, okay, well, they're always there. My parents, well, I know they love me, but, that's what they always do. So I don't actually appreciate that. If you feel this way, Well, actually what you do is you take their love for granted. Okay? 당연시 여기는 거죠. 그들의 사랑을. 안 되죠. Right? So you have to be thankful for everything. Thank you for the air. Thank you for the camera. Thank you for the book. You should be thankful for everything. So you should not take anything for granted. Take something for granted means 무엇을 당연히 여기다. So 마돈나의 노래 중에서 있어요. I took your love for granted, but luck was always on my side. So 이거는 제가 지어낸 노래가 진짜 있어요. 당신의 사랑을 제가 당연시 여겼습니다. I took your love for granted. I took your love for granted. One more time. I took your love for granted. So took 과거형이죠. take에. Okay, and my advice. My advice. Take my advice. 받아들이다, right? Take. Okay, let me erase this part. Take my advice. 이 상태가 뒤에 있죠. Advice. Take my advice. So, I'm an expert. 저는 전문가예요. Well, I'm giving my expertise to you. Expertise is like 전문가적인 소견. And you need to take my advice. Okay? 저의 전문가적인 소견. 여기서 나온 충고를 받아들이셔야죠. You have to take my advice. Okay? Okay. And then, a plan into practice. Okay. Plan. Plan is always plan. Even though you have great plans, if you never carry those plans out, that will never come true. It's like a daydream, right? So you have to actually try to carry out those plans. You have to put them into practice, right? So put them into practice. Put a plan into practice. Okay. So put a plan into practice right now. What's important about carrying out your plans that you wrote in your diary and whatsoever is you have to do it immediately and right now. If you start to put it off, you remember put it off? Put, the time off. To time for carrying out that plan off. 그런 것들을 뭡니까? 내가 수행하기로 한 것을 자꾸 이렇게 미루다 보면요. 이거는 정말 되지 않습니다. So put a plan into practice right now. 지금 당장. And then why don't we go to the next one? A risk. A risk? Okay, which one sounds natural? Take a risk or put a risk? What does risk mean? 위험. So do you take a risk or do you put a risk? Well, we usually take a risk, right? So in order to go ahead in our life, sometimes, obviously, we don't know what will happen in the future, right? So there are kind of uncertainty. So what you need to do is, even though it's a little risky to go ahead, you have to go ahead anyway, right? So you have to do it with this courage and bravery, whatsoever. 젖먹던 힘까지 다 해가지고 take a risk. risk를 감수를 하는 거죠. Take a risk. Okay. In the stock market, actually, you take a risk in order to gain high returns, right? So, stock market에서는 더 많은 소득을 얻기 위해서 여러분이 위험을 감수할 수가 있겠죠, right? Take a risk is used in that case. Okay, and your work first. Okay, well, it's like a priority. Okay, there's like a priority라는 게 있죠. What's priority? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, according to your value, well, there are things that is very important to you and urgent. Okay, so like, my work, family, friends, my hobby. Okay, you can put something on the list first, right? So put something first means what? 무엇을 가장 중요시 여기다. 무엇을 우선적으로 그 중요시 여기다. 그런 표현이죠. In that case, you can say like I prioritize my work over anything else. So you can say, oh, I put my work first. What does that mean? That means my work is the most important thing. And in that case, you can also say, I prioritize my work over anything else. It's the most important thing, right? So put something first. That means in this list, you prioritize this over anything else. Okay, and why don't we go to the next one? Responsibility for something. Responsibility, well, taking for something. Do you take responsibility or do you put responsibility? That's right, take responsibility. Okay, take responsibility for something. Okay? So, if there is a very, very serious political scandal, political scandal 하면은 정치적인 스캔들이죠. 그럴 때는 이제 끝에 거의 다 gate가 붙잖아요. 뭐 Watergate, Nannygate, and 클린턴의 유명한 그 모니카 루원스키의 사건은 it's called Zippergate, right? So in that case, you know, everything is revealed, right? 모든 사실이 폭로가 됐어요, right? Everything has been disclosed. And then in that case, what you can say is like, I'm going to take all the responsibilities, right? I'm going to take the responsibilities for that, for this scandal or whatsoever. Okay? And pressure on somebody. Well, this is what we learned in the sentence above, right? Put pressure on. I'm just going to write it here. Put pressure on 누구누구에게 압력을 가하다. 그죠? 근데 싫은데 막 억지로 시키는 경우 이게 더 심해지면은 twist one's arm to do something. So force somebody to do something, even though this person doesn't want to do it, right? So in that case, you can say like twist one's arm, but 그냥 가볍게 압력을 주다. In that case, put pressure on somebody. Okay, it can be used in that case. And forever. Well, it's kind of exaggeration. Wow, it's going to take forever. Well, we often exaggerate, right? So, oh, thanks a million. well, 감사하는 거에 대해서는요, 그 과정에도 괜찮아요. Thanks a million, right? 만 배만큼 고마워요. In that case, you can say that. But, you know, when something takes too long, you can say, oh, it takes forever, right? It takes forever. Take forever is used. Okay? Repeat after me. Take forever. What takes forever? What takes forever? Oh, it seems like that the construction of the building takes forever. 그래서 건물이 거의 뭐 한 달에 타일 하나씩 이렇게 붙이는 것 같아요. 벽돌 하나씩. 너무 오래 걸려. So it seems like the construction of the building takes forever. You can say that. Okay, now why don't we go to number 3? Okay, it's time for us to go to number 3. Okay, number 1, the wedding took place in an old country church. So, 이벤트가 일어나다라고 할 때 took place를 쓰면 되잖아요. Why don't you write it down there? The wedding took place. The wedding took place in an old country church. It was lovely, but it was miles away. It was so far, right? It took forever to get there. See, it took a long time. It took forever to get there. Okay, anyway, why don't we listen to number 1 together?
The wedding took place in an old country church. It was lovely, but it was miles away. It took forever to get there.
It took forever to get there. And what you have to remember here is the wedding took place. The wedding took place. It's an event. So when some kind of event happened, okay, you can say like an event took place, a wedding took place, something like that. Why don't we go to number 2? My son's always hanging out at the mall. What does hang out mean? There's no specific purpose. So with his money in his pocket, he just goes around and, oh, I like it, and he buys that, right? So it's kind of a bad habit, just hanging around in the mall and buy something not really necessary for this person. This is what her son does. So my son's always hanging out at the mall, but I will, to that. I won't give him any more pocket money. I'm not going to give him allowance anymore, right? So what? He needs to stop the behavior. He needs to stop that kind of bad habits of buying something at the mall, hanging around there, right? So what do you need to put here is, what? What you need to put here is put a stop, right? Put a stop. So my son's always hanging out at the mall, but I will put a stop on that. I'll put a stop to that. You can say that, okay? All right, why don't we listen to this part? Put a stop.
My son's always hanging out at the mall, but I'll put a stop to that. I won't give him any more pocket money.
Pocket money, 용돈 안 줘. So put a stop to that is an expression that you have to remember. Number 3, please don't. But I don't think your work has been up to your usual standards recently. 최근에 일이 요전에 했었던 만큼 잘하는 것 같지 않아. 그 수준에 미치지 못하는 것 같다. Right? So, this can be like a constructive remarks, right? Because this is kind of a fact. 사실이잖아요, that this person has to take, right? So, in order to be more polite, this person said, don't take offense. 라고 먼저 얘기를 해주고, negative하지만 constructive한 얘기를 해주면 되겠죠. Okay? So, please don't take offense. Please don't take offense. Listen.
Please don't take offense, but I don't think your work has been up to your usual standard recently.
Okay, 최근에 일을 별로 잘하지 못했나 봐요. 그럴 때가 있잖아요. Ups and downs and ups and downs. Okay, and we go to number 4. I told you that boy was no good for you. You should have, and had nothing to do with him. Okay, so, a person is known by his friend. Are you familiar with this proverb? 어떤 사람을 알기 위해서는 친구를 알면 된대요. 같이 이렇게 금목자 흑이라는 말도 있잖아요. Right? So if you get close to this dark or black color, well, you become like black. This is kind of a Chinese proverb. 금목자 흑. Okay? So who you are hanging out with is really, really important. Okay. Here, something bad happened. So I told you. 내가 얘기했잖아. I told you that boy was no good for you. He's not good for you. So, you should have taken my advice. Take my advice. You should have taken my advice. So, should have PP는 뭐뭐 했었어야 되는 건데. It's kind of a regret for the past that did not happen. So, you should have taken my advice and have had nothing to do with him. So 어떤 관계도 갖지 말았어야 되는 건데, right? So taking my advice is used in this case. Let's listen to this.
I told you that boy was no good for you. You should have taken my advice and had nothing to do with him.
Taking my advice, right? Have nothing to do with him. Nothing to do. Have nothing to do with는 누구와 아무런 관련이 없다라는 그런 표현이죠. And then the next one is the older you get, the more you have to learn. 더 플러스 비교급, 더 플러스 비교급, 뭐뭐 하면 할수록 뭐뭐 하다, right? So, the older you get, the more you have to learn to for your own life. So, the older, the more you have to think about your life and you have to take responsibility, right? So, what you have to put here is take responsibility for your own life, right? That means being an adult, right? Being an adult means you have to take a responsibility for whatever decision you made, right? And your own life eventually. Okay, listen to this part.
The older you get, the more you have to learn to take responsibility for your own life.
Okay, so take responsibility. And number 6, my boss is to resign, but I won't go. Oh, this boss is kind of weird, right? Why? Because this boss is putting pressure on me to quit the job. Resign means quit. 그만두라고, 사직하라고 지금 압력을 놓고 있대요. maybe the company is having a hard time financially. So the boss want to let go so many employees, and one of them is this person. I don't know what the situation is, but my boss is putting pressure. Okay, listen to this part. Putting pressure.
My boss is putting pressure on me to resign, but I won't go.
난 절대로 그만두지 않아. 나는 그만두지 않아. I won't go means I will not quit. I will not resign. Okay? And we go to the next one, which is number 7. I try to get the teacher's attention, but she of me at all. Oh, so have you ever fallen in love with someone who teach you? Oh, anyway, me? Oh, no, don't. 감사합니다. 아니에요, 장난이고요. 네. When I was in high school, well, I really liked my math teacher. And then, I did everything to get attention from him, but actually he did not take notice of me, and it was so sad. Okay, anyway, here, I try to get the teacher's attention. I'm here, I did all the homework, and I know what answer for question 2 is. So I try to get the attention of the teacher, but she, what do you have to put here? Took no notice of me. 나를 인식하지 못했다. 나를 알아채지 못했다. Okay? So it took no notice of me at all. Okay? And number 8, children never say, we have to listen number 7 before we go any further. Okay? Listen number 7 together.
I tried to get the teacher's attention, but she took no notice of me at all.
Okay. So, 나를 알아채지 못했다. Right? Number 8, children never say thank you or how are you to their parents. They just, they don't know how to appreciate, right? So they never appreciate their parents' love. They're kind of wayward. 고마운지 모르고 그냥 이렇게 막무가내로 그 부모님께 감사할 줄 모르는 그런 애들이 있죠. Children never say thank you or how are you. 아이들 모르니까요. They are, young. And they're too young to understand what love is, right? Maybe. Children never say thank you or how are you to their parents. They just take them for granted. Take the parents, right? Take their parents for granted. So, 당연시 여기다. 별로 이렇게 고마워하지 않다. 그런 표현이겠죠? Okay, why don't we listen to this part?
Children never say thank you or how are you to their parents. They just take them for granted.
Okay. All right. Today we studied some expressions that go together with put and some that go together with take and, put and take가 쓰여진 idiomatic expression을 봤는데요. Oh, wow, there are many expressions like this, and you have still 3 more questions to go in order to master all of this. So why don't you solve number 4 by yourself and acquire some of the expressions. number 4를 풀어보시고 여러분께서 또 나름대로 매치시키시면서 더 많은 표현들을 익히실 수 있다고 생각합니다. Okay? So put and take가 들어가는 것. And number 5하고 6도 풀어보시기 바랍니다. Okay? And put and take. 오늘의 강좌는 여기서 마치도록 할게요. Thank you very much. Bye. By the way, I don't take you for granted.